There it goes. Hey y'all, it's me, Niecy Lynn. This is February the 9th, Tuesday, and I was gonna cook today. That kind of scooched us up though, so you can't see really great, but anyway, we were gonna cook the strawberry bars today, and then I got a delivery. So I thought we would do a little unbox and arrange these flowers while we were visiting. James Williams sent me Valentine flowers. So they're from Benchmark Bouquets. I don't know if I've ever got them from there before. I don't know if that's the same. I know he sent me like 1-800 flowers and stuff before. I like arranging them myself. I worked at the florist for a long time, and so it's just kind of my fun thing. You don't get, and I have pulled it out to be sure I didn't need to cut anything loose. So I have opened the box a little bit and flapped this side back so my address wouldn't be showing, in case some of y'all are a serial killer or something, which y'all are always telling me I'm bad about not being careful about. So here we are at Vlogentines 9, and we will see about arranging these flowers while we visit. I don't think there's anything else here in this box. I did cut the zip tie there. Okay, I think that's everything that's in there. This vase was in there. I pulled it out first to be sure it wasn't broken. I've never had one get broken, but I've heard that they have been broken in the past by people. So anyway, I did send him a message saying thank you so much for my Valentine flowers. And I will try to get this cut loose. We've got a wet wrap on the bottom here. They probably had ice in there at some point, but it's all water now, and they're still wet at the bottom, so that's nice. And he usually just sends roses because most everything else is kind of beat up. So he knows that for me, that's fine, just send that. I love lilies and other things, but they get really beat up when they try to travel in the mail, so I love to get any kind of flowers. That's always fun. It's always a great surprise. It's always nice. And the little UPS man was really nice. He picked a treat up out of the tray and out of my little bin out there and said thank you as he left. Because it is really cold here today. I know some of y'all are gonna wanna beat me for complaining about it, but I think it's like 35 and the wind's blowing really hard, and I know for some of y'all that's not too bad, but for me, that's pretty bad. Show all my stuff dissolved in there. For me, that's really cold. I mean, I have not even done my walk yet because I kept thinking, come on, get warmer, get warmer, get warmer. It doesn't look like it's gonna get very much warmer. They don't send you any filler or anything usually, so you just have to kind of pack them in tight. They're not too terribly tall for this vase, so you don't have to chop off too much, so that should work. Just make sure you don't have any that are going to get down in the water. That'll cause them to start decaying faster. Any leaves or stems, like any little leaf stems like this, pull those off, because if they're down in the water, they'll cause decay to happen faster. So if you can, pull those guys off. If you miss one or two, you know, it's not going to be the end of the end, but it will cause them to go bad faster. So if you can pull those guys off right up front, you're better off. So there's that, and let's see how we're fastened up here. These look like, I guess they may be Freedoms or something, but they're really nice. Okay. And I brought in my snips from outside. You can use a knife, you can use whatever, but if you cut them at an angle, they will soak up the water better. So I'm just gonna take and cut a little bit off the bottom, just at an angle like that. And the directions I think say that. I looked and the directions are pretty good. Open the box, remove the bouquet, cut the packaging and stems. And it says add cool water. I don't know about cool. I guess they don't want you to, because they're afraid people put hot water. But don't put hot water, but they will soak up a little bit warmer water better. So they don't want hot water, but, and if you have some that have thicker stems, put them kind of around the outside because the head is kind of heavy and it'll flop over. And I forgot to put my phone on shut up, so we'll see. I'm hoping we don't get cut off here because I did forget to put my phone on shut up and I don't know if I can do it now without turning it off myself. So we will see how this goes today. We may end up back at square one where we started. And if any of the outside ones are like beat up, you can take them off. That one's got a little bit of an ugly place on it, but it's not really bad. Doesn't really, none of these are really, this one, none of the heads look busted, so they should do pretty good and open up pretty good. And just start working them around, because what you want to do is try to make a little, like when you're playing pickup sticks and you're intertwining them all to try to make a little grid down in here. That'll start holding these in the center up if you can start doing your outside ones and build yourself a little grid with them. So start using those to build yourself a little grid around and through, interlocking the stems with each other is what you're trying to do. And then you can use that as a base to keep them upright in the middle. Does that make sense? To keep them upright in the center? I love the flower shop. I miss it. I miss the wonderful smell. The smell of the flower shop is something that you take for granted how nice it smelled to go in there every day. And then when you go in a flower shop after a long time, you would get nose blind to it. So that is true, that commercial about being nose blind, that is real. That is 100% real. Because you would get nose blind to the beautiful smell at the flower shop and you wouldn't notice it. And then if you would be gone and you would, like now, if I go in a flower shop, I notice how fabulous it smells in there. It smells so good, so good. And you miss that. Sometimes I will pick up flowers and keep them here at the house. James sends them at our anniversary a lot of times, at Valentine's and things like that, or I'll just grab some. They're not expensive at the store nowadays. There really isn't any use to, if you have a little bit of free money to do without them. I mean, right now when everything's so dull and dreary, just grab you some daisies and stick them in a vase and you're fine. I mean, even if you have some old galoshes, stick them in some old galoshes or wellies or whatever y'all call them, and they're so cheery and cute. Nothing cheer you up as fast as a daisy, I don't guess. We used to have a man that, bless his heart, they had blue carnations at their wedding. And so every year he sent his wife another, he added a blue carnation to the bouquet, which is so very sweet. But Lord have mercy, that thing was getting to where it was kind of unwieldy and hard to deal with, and it didn't matter. He still just kept wanting to add one more and add, you know, he had a theme and he was sticking with it. He was not departing from his theme. It was working for him, and he was going to grow this thing. He was going to ride it to the bitter end now. And he did. He did. We had to dye those blue carnations every year, just for them. I don't think we did them for anybody else. Occasionally somebody would have a baby boy, and they would want you to dye a blue one, but he wanted every year when you knew, you're like, oh boy, here it is, yep. Get out the blue dye. He had a theme, which I guess is good. It's good to have a theme. It's good to have something at least. It was always sweet that he always thought of her, and he always remembered their anniversary, and he always had that and had it delivered to her house, to their house on their anniversary every year without fail. Never forgot, never departed from his plan or his theme. Okay, we need some locked up right here in the center. He had his deal. We would get funny things sometimes. People would send strange cards. And I'm gonna say this, if you don't lick the card, you better know we read it. If you don't lick that card shut, you better know, at least I did. I'm gonna open that thing up and read it if you didn't lick it shut. I'm curious. So if you didn't lick it shut, you better know I read it. Because I'm just nosy like that. I'm not the world's nosiest person, but if you didn't lick your card, I mean, you might know something better to say than I know. And I did over the years pick up like nicer things to say to people when they were grieving or on their birthday or thing, because people know different things. So I have picked up over the years nicer, funner things to say, nicer ways to say things. I did learn things from that, so I feel like that's fine. If you licked them shut, that's your business. If you didn't lick them shut, I figured it wasn't like a private thing, so you didn't care. How are we doing over there, y'all? I didn't count to see how many there were. I didn't even think about that. See if we can see that one's not gonna, that one is not gonna want to stay put. I gotta see if I can get another one to lock it in right there. Let's see if we can. Like I said, I know some of y'all are really freezing. I've got chicken tortilla soup going back here. The kids are coming tonight. I'm gonna make pigs in blankets because I know the little girls will eat pigs in blankets, always. I make little tiny pigs in blankets and they'll eat those. And some queso. They might eat a little queso, who knows. Cute wild man will always eat some queso. So I'll make some queso, chicken tortilla soup. Girls will eat the little pigs in blankets. I get the little smokies. Sometimes I get the ones with cheese in them. Sometimes I get just the plain ones. Just depends on what's there. And then I take the crescent rolls. You know, they come in a little triangle. And I usually like third them. So I cut each thing in a third and then wrap it around a little smoky, because I feel like a lot of times like things like that are like lost in the bread. And I mean, I'm a bread lover, do not get me wrong, I love me some bread, but I mean, it's like lost in there. So then the little smoky shows out either end, but you do have a good amount of bread around the center and all. So, and like I said, the girls, the littles will usually eat, they'll usually eat a, what do they call it? A hot dog donut. They call a pig in a blanket a hot dog donut. I don't know, well, because you get them at the donut shop, right? You get them, I do know why, because you get them at the donut shop, so they're a hot dog donut. So that's what they call a hot dog donut. We'll see if our Kyle made it through the day without getting in trouble at school. She was already on the roll this morning. All I know is Justin must have been a handful because she's giving her mama a run for her money. And Michael was pretty easy. She was a pretty easy kid. So Justin must have been, Lord have mercy, because Michael must be having to pay for his raising and hers too. She wasn't too bad. He, however, must have been something else. Something else. I don't know if that part's recyclable. This part is. That is one thing that makes me happy. Since we moved over here, I do have recycle, which is nice. At the other house, I didn't have the recycle. So I love having the recycle over here. We didn't have the recycle at the other house. So the recycle does make me super happy. So here we go. We got everything in here. Got the water in there, and that's about the best you can do without any filler or anything to make yourself any sort of a grid with to hold them in. So we're just gonna scoot that guy over there kind of to the edge there. Just put him right there. Move our little tools over here. And then I guess, it's early, but I can wrap them and put them in the refrigerator, I guess. I can start making pigs and blankets, or I guess I can put the queso. I can chop the stuff for the queso, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'll think about what I'm gonna do here in a minute. But that was super nice of James Williams to send me some Valentine flowers. And then I'm gonna go on Thursday and have my fingernails and toenails done, and I'd just as soon have my teeth pulled, honestly. It is not my favorite thing to do, but Mike is gonna go with me, so that'll be nice. At least there's a little bit of a visit, somebody to visit with while it's going on, so that will help with the ness of it. Because like I said, it is not my favorite thing to do. Go and do that. It's not at all. Not at all. It ain't my gig. It just ain't my gig. What have I got on my cabinet right there? I don't know what that is. Anyway, as I get completely distracted and down the rabbit hole. So we got our flowers done, and I guess I can get out the stuff and just do the little hot dogs. Okay, hold on, we'll make hot dog donuts. While we're talking here, we'll make some hot dog donuts. I'll have to go off screen to get the little chopping board that I roll them out on. And to get the little thingy things. I can go ahead and have these rolled up, and then I'll just be ready to, I'll put them in the refrigerator and they'll be ready for later. No, that probably is not good for knives, but I don't guess it really matters. But when I got these today, I was thinking about years ago at the flower shop, 2 or 3 years, Patty did a promotion. And if you paid extra, you could have your flowers delivered by a costume. In 1 year, I had a bear costume, like a full bear costume with a big giant bear head. And I was trying to think of what it was the other year. And for the life of me, I can't think what it was. So I'm gonna have to call her later and ask her what it was that I was dressed up like, because for the life of me, I cannot recall what it was that I was dressed up like. But that's a little alarming since I was the one that was dressed up, right? But I remember it was hot. It was very warm. Here you never know if it's gonna be like warm at this time of year or if it's gonna be like freezing. There have been years that we've had ice and had to deliver in the ice, and there have been years that it's like completely fabulous weather, like shorts and t-shirt. So it can go either way. Okay, get ready for the terrible sound. Oh, it wasn't too bad. I hate those things. Loud, sudden, poppy things are not my favorite. So here I am. I'll try to cut it and put it where y'all can see. Okay, now I think I can probably hold this up. We'll see if it falls off and then you'll get a real big laugh. And see, I cut each one into like thirds because that's way too much bread to me for to go around the little hot dog thing. I don't know why, maybe it's not, maybe other people like that much bread, but the little thingy is like lost in there. So to me, that's just about the right amount of, which these are not my thing. I will eat a little bit of them, but I've told y'all before, hot dogs and sausage and that kind of stuff is not my, that is not my thing. I don't care for pre-chewed food. That's just me. That is just me. Everybody else I know loves them. I know I'm in the minority. I know I'm a weirdo, but it is what it is. That is not my thing at all. The girls like, when they're here, they'll help do these a little bit. And you can imagine how the wraps are when they're here to help wrap. Boy, you get some wild wrapping on those pigs and blankets when they're here and helping with the wrapping. All kind of wild. So Ari Kyle may be here with me tomorrow to help me make strawberry bars. If we do strawberry bars tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see what she's up to tomorrow. Like I said, she has been leading her mother, Mary Chase. She said a curse word on the way to school this morning, so, and then told her mama that it wasn't a curse word, and she knew it wasn't a curse word because Pat said it, and she used it in context too, so. The D word. So, which is not usually the curse word that James Williams would use. So Mike said she didn't think it was Pat's curse word. She thought it was her daddy's curse word, but she didn't want to throw her daddy under the bus, so she blamed on Pat. But she said, anyway, Pat would never use a curse word. She knew her Pat would never use a curse word, and I was like, well, Lord have mercy. Okay. All I'm saying, it's a good reason he works in construction. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave that there. So we'll see how she did today at school. If she made it without getting in no trouble today, we can hope. We can hope. Kimmy James is still having a fabulous week for Star Student Week. Today she got to take her favorite book, which she's taking How to Catch a Monster, which is still their favorite, even above Skippy John Jones. They love it best. And it is a good book. If you haven't read How to Catch a Monster, that's a good story. That is a very good story. Super fun. So here I am just chopping these away. I don't know if I'm about half done or not, but I'll usually do a batch of a whole bag of the little, how many does it say in here? 6, I guess it says about 30. It says about 30 hot dog links in here, so however many that does. Okay, good. But other than that, I haven't been doing much today. Did a little laundry. Visited with Annie for a minute. She came by after her knee therapy. She has water therapy on Thursday, which will be freezing. Lord. I would not be wanting to get in that pool at therapy. Even though it's inside, you still have to go outside afterward. Yikes. It's supposed to be real, real cold. You know, we're just not geared for that down here. Or I'm not. I know some people manage, and some people even like it. I would not be one of those people. But it was cold enough this morning that the pool thing was running, and that means it's freezing. That means the pool temperature thinks it's freezing, so it runs to keep the pool pump thing from freezing up. So it was really cold. this morning. Really, really cold. So I've just been doing some stitching, trying to do a little planning. Are any of y'all doing March Madness? Y'all asked me about that last night. Oh, no, now I'm trying not to sneeze. And I don't know about that. Y'all know I don't like to have a lot of things going, so I don't know. I don't know about me in the March Madness. And I don't keep a lot of whips, so I have a couple of big things, you know, going. But I mean, I guess I could start things I want to do in spring and get them all started, and, you know, a couple of things lined out that I plan to do in the springtime, and get them, all the pieces together and laid out. And what I'm doing down here is drying these little weenies off, because the things won't stick good if they are wet, which is disgusting. So I don't know, I'm thinking about that. Got a couple of little things on the burner that I'm thinking that I want to get done for springtime. I did, Barbara is Raspberry Stitcher, and I think she said another lady named Rose, and I can't call what she said her last name, and maybe Erin, Two Martini Stitcher, had done some of them, but Barbara, Raspberry Stitcher, did the Letters from Mom. I think they're Jeanette Douglas, and she did the whole series and the little envelope-y pouchy thing, and it is beautiful. That is an absolutely beautiful piece. And I got 5 and I got 3 things left, so we're gonna split it a little further. So, you might run over and check that out, because I'd never seen it. I don't know how I miss things. I know because I do miss episodes of people's floss tubes, that I do miss things, but you would think that you would not. I'm always shocked at the things that I have never seen anywhere. I'm thinking, how have I never seen that on anybody's, not a piece of it on anybody's floss tube, on their Instagram, on their, how does this even happen, right? I don't even know about these things. I don't even know how this happens, but whatever. That is the strangest thing to me that I can never figure out. So you might jump over there and check that out, because it is really, she talks about the finish of it and how she finished it and all, and I was really impressed. It's a beautiful piece. She did beautiful work on it, and it's really nice. So that was like super fun to see something that I hadn't seen before, and how it all came together. And because it is the 12 pieces, it has like a letter for your kid like every month. And so you do one January, one February like this. Of course, you can do them all whenever, but, and then you stitch the little envelope that they go in, and then they all fit down in there like little postcards. And they are gorgeous. The colors on them are gorgeous. I mean, they're really nice. I was just so impressed. So you might jump over there and check that out. I'm trying to think if I've seen anything else lately that I haven't seen at all anywhere. And I know there is something I was going to mention, and I can't think what it was, which always happens to me, because I'm over here and I don't have my notes. See, that's the thing about usually on Friday. I try to make my notes so that on Friday I have my notes to look at, and that helps immensely, my notes. But if I don't have my notes, then I'm just in a wreck, because I know nothing. I'm like Clink, or whatever his name was on Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing, and that's the truth. I'm sitting over here thinking I was going to tell y'all something else, but I don't know what it was. I knew I was going to tell y'all about Raspberry Stitcher and that beautiful Letters from Mom and something else, but it is evading me, as things are wont to do when I'm trying to do 2 things at once, which I don't know if I have another pack of little wings. I do. Woohoo! And since everybody's coming tonight, I'll go and just do 2 packs of these. So while we're standing here and I have enough of both things, I'll just go ahead and get these ready. And then I'll go ahead and tray them up and put them on the cookie sheet and everything. And then put them in the refrigerator with a piece of foil over them. And then when it's time this evening, I just stick them in the oven. So I do a lot of pre-prep work like that. Get things done ahead of time. Then I don't have to worry about it, think about it at the very last second. And I hate to use this many paper towels, but I don't know how else to dry these little weenies off. I try not to waste 1,000 paper products, but the thought of putting a rag in my dirty clothes bin that has some kind of nasty weenie juice on it is just not, y'all, that's too much for me. Too much for me. Can't go there. Can't go there. Nope. So, then I just roll them around, kind of dry them off a little bit so they don't be so, I don't know. I know people love these things, but they're kind of slimy or something. Or slick or wet or, I don't know. It's not my thing. But everybody else loves them and everybody else eats them. And like I said, they just look like, but they have little, you can see it, the little hot dog at either end. So that you don't end up with just like all bread. And now the girls have gone through phases. In one phase, they picked the bread off and only ate the bread. And then in one phase of their lives, they picked the bread off and only ate the hot dog out the middle. So, I don't know. When you figure kids out, you let me know. And write a book and help us all out. Because we'll all be wanting to know what in the world is going on in those little noodles up there. Because I do not have a clue. Not one clue. Oh, there we go. So anyway, I'll have these ready. I got my soup ready. Now I just have my queso to make later, and then I don't have to get in a rush. I try to, even when I'm a lot of people over, my brisket and beans, like I have a brisket and bean recipe that I cook together. It makes a big bunch. Of course, it's a brisket, so it makes a lot of food. The beans cook with it, so you pull the brisket out, let it rest a little bit before you slice it. Then that gives you time to bowl up the beans, get them put in a bowl. Well, you know, you make your potato salad ahead of time. You make your, I make that ramen slaw with the ramen noodles and coleslaw like that. I make that one. So, you know, everything's kind of done. So you can kind of like enjoy your company when you're there. You're not stuck in the kitchen the whole time cooking while your company's there, because I love seeing my company and I want to visit with them and things like that. So I try not to cook things that I'm stuck in the kitchen the whole time, that they're there. And I just leaned on the dishwasher if y'all wonder what that sound is. Pushed it too. And not seeing them while they're at the house. So that is the way, that's the way I do anyway. Right or wrong, that's what I do. So I can visit and see everybody, and we, that way that brisket works for us, because like I said, James, since he's been on heart medicine, we love barbecue and we love like smoked barbecue, but it makes him sick. He can't eat it anymore. The, something in the smoke part makes him sick. So, and I've read up and it says lots of people even, like, I don't guess just after heart surgery, but like Annie, it makes her sick. So she likes it when I make brisket, because then she can eat it and she won't be sick either. So evidently it's a common problem with a lot of people. The smoke part of it makes them sick, even though they love the taste of it. We used to go like on barbecue trips just to try different barbecue places, but I don't guess we'll be doing that anymore because ain't nobody wanting to get sick. There ain't nothing worse than that. We have had to stop on the way home for him to be sick because he will eat himself, or he used to eat himself into sickness. He would literally eat himself sick. Like a goldfish, he'd eat himself to death. Ain't never seen anything like it in my life. I don't even know, y'all. I just don't even know. CJ would do that when he was little. He would eat and eat and eat and then throw up and then want to eat and eat and eat again. When he was nursing, he would just, oh my gosh. You just never know. You're just never prepared. You are never prepared. I think he and Juanita are going to come up this weekend, so we're excited about that. We haven't got to see them really but once since they went to Houston. It's not like they've been down there 10 years or anything, but unless the weather's too bad, and then they won't. Of course, I don't want them traveling. I'd rather not see them than travel in the bad weather, so that's for sure. Down there where they are, they shouldn't get any bad weather, but up here, we're liable to. From time to time, we'll get like really icy bad. We'll get icy badness up here. Even that year the Super Bowl was here, and it was like super bad weather, and then it started thawing, and the dome, the partial dome over the stadium, it started melting, and the sheets of it were falling off and hitting people as they were trying to go into the stadium. It was a hot mess. It was terrible. Lord, y'all, I better get out here. This thing probably ain't ever going to upload. But anyway, this is Vlogentines number 9, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We may be cooking with Aria Kyle, which y'all know can always be an adventure, and that's for sure. And I will I'll probably post a pic with my flowers right here. So anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye.